Hey guys, hope you're all doing good. Got a pretty cool system here like usual for you again. Now I don't normally do laptops on my channel, but I'm a big IBM and Lenovo Thinkpad fan, and I just got my hands on this, and it's so awesome that I had to make a video for my channel. So this is the IBM Thinkpad pre-Lenovo buyout R31, which this runs a Pentium 3 mobile edition chip. It has 256 megs of 133 PC 133 SDRAM, which I am trying to upgrade. We have 2 slots on there. I've upgraded it with a Wi-Fi card. It has no touchpad. You'll see it uses a track point, which that's actually the nipple from a newer laptop I've got. Another one of my IBM ThinkPads. I have 4 of them. I have this one. I have a T530, a W530, and a A22M. Those are the 4 that I have, but this one is great because this is almost 25 years old. You can see if we look on the back here that this dates from September of 2002. Comes with our original Windows XP, where are you there? Windows XP sticker. Everything's intact on this. It's in really good shape. This here covers up our network card. Underneath here we have our slots, our 2 slots for our RAM. I'm trying to get my hands on some more memory for this. You'll see here in a minute why. And then here is our battery, which is really cool about this is you'll see when I do my video, when I turn this on here for you, is that I'm actually going to be using it all on battery. I do have the original charger for this. It is a 16 volt, I believe, 4.5 amp, let's adjust that here, 16 volt, 4.5 amp charger, which is kind of a weird voltage, which you'll be able to use a multi-ended adapter for this, which I was using. And like I say, I also have the original IBM adapter too, which is pretty cool. We have a printer port on this, external VGA, modem, Ethernet, and then also a PS2 port on the back of this. We have a DVD-ROM drive that works. I was able to install Windows with that. And on this side, we have our audio jack, a USB, and a PCMIA slot. We also have one more USB on the back too, I thought I would mention. But yeah, this thing works really good. The original hard drive that was in it was a 30 gigabyte, I believe it was a Hitachi or a Travel Star. I don't know if that's Hitachi. I think so. But I did upgrade the drive. It's got a 100 gigabyte drive in this now. 100 gig, 7200 RPM hard drive. And you'll see here when I go to power it on. Like I say, I don't normally do laptops too much on my channel. So let me try to adjust this here so that I can get it all in the picture. And you can see me using it. Maybe if I pull back a little bit. Let's try it like that. So we go power on here with our button. Boots up really good. When I first got this laptop, I had an issue with the actual, with the machine posting. I had a post there, and it said press, we're going to XP here first. Like I say, I do have this dual boot with Windows XP and Windows 7, which it works really great on both. As I was saying, I had an issue with this laptop when I first turned it on, that it was not starting. It would turn on, it would give me the post screen, and then it would say, a system like time fault. It was 0271, I believe, was the code. And how I got around that actually was that I had to take the whole machine apart, and then underneath here, once we take the keyboard off, underneath this area, or under the keyboard even, was a CMOS battery. I replaced the CMOS battery with the leads. I just taped the leads onto a new battery. I actually stole it from my computer, my tower, and behind there, because I don't have any extras right now. I put that CMOS battery in, it was still giving me the air, so then I just left it unplugged for a little while, and then when I turned the machine on, I held down F1 as I pressed the power button, and that was able to force me into the BIOS. I was able to set the time, and I was able to go. So you'll see that serious air. That's because later in the video, I'm gonna show you, I had this on YouTube. I was struggling for a while to get it to actually work on YouTube, but here's that. That's the network card I've installed. I don't actually have the driver for this. What I wanted to show you is right away, not that. What I want to show you is right away is that we go to our battery, and the battery on this machine is so good. Come on. It gets about 3 hours actually. Oh my God, there you go. 3, you can see it says it on the bottom there, 3 hours and 4 minutes. And that is accurate. I know that because when I installed Windows 7 on this, I was seeing this prompt in Windows XP here. And then when I installed Windows 7, I was also seeing that it said 3 hours, and I said, okay, so I just let it idle on Windows 7. I had it from about 12 o'clock until about 3 in the morning before I went to bed, and it still had, oh no, sorry, about from 2 from 2 o'clock in the morning until 4 in the morning, and it still had 1 hour left when I went to bed at 4 in the morning. So it's accurate. That isn't accurate. As long as you're not using it, like when I was using this and going on the internet, really beating on the processor, it definitely does not last 3 hours, but it does last for 3 hours on idle. Sorry, if you're using it, battery goes down a lot more, just like anything. But here is the system screen here for you now. We have the mobile Pentium 3 CPU. It's very strange, this one. It's not like a normal kind of layout you'd say for it. This is 1.133 gigahertz or 1133 megahertz. And you get downclocks here. It also downclocks in the Windows 7. You'll see it. There is a driver you can get for this as well, which I'll get to in a sec. And our 256 meg of RAM. And again, what also is strange with this laptop is that it takes 133 SDRAM, which I have a lot of PC 100 SDRAM, but I don't have any 133. So I'm going to try to get a bit more of this because I believe you can put two 512 megabyte sticks in this for 1 gig of RAM, which would be pretty cool. I definitely do want to upgrade this with some extra RAM because it works great. I do have a Wi-Fi card in here now. You'll see all the drivers are installed, quote unquote. I'll get to this in a minute here with the Intel graphics driver. You'll see there's my drive. It is a Hitachi. Here's my network controller, which is I'm trying to remember what that is. It's a Broadcom something. It does work under Windows 7. Windows 7 actually has a native driver for this, which I found pretty interesting, but apparently Windows XP does not. Now, you'll see some videos later when I go on the internet with this under XP. I was using it with an Ethernet connection. It's going to be a bit of a collection of clips. When I tried to get this playing, you know, it's a rite of passage with this channel that I try to get it to play a YouTube and a Mr. Beast video, but did we get it running? I guess you'll have to stay tuned and find out. But we have that installed. I didn't install the modem. I actually had the modem disabled in the BIOS, but it still shows up. I don't really know why. And then this, what I wanted to mention with these drivers on this is that this is the chipset. Now the chipset on this one is kind of strange. This is the chipset here. And then these are related to the chipset. There is this LPC one, and then Windows 7 we also see one that's related to the USB. Now I had a really strange issue with this that I've never seen on a computer before. Basically, when I installed the chipset driver, I had 2 of my USB sticks would not work in this anymore. They would show up, they would take forever to load, and then they every time you access it, the Windows Explorer would just kind of freeze up. So I don't know why that is. I ended up actually redoing the Windows XP with my legitimate installed disk instead of a burned copy. I have a whole bunch of different burned copies of it, but I just leave that uninstalled because the USB does work. If you go down here, you'll see it. Our 2 ports, they show up, and then it's actually still installed here. So why that one? I'm not sure why it says LPT, if that's our LPC. One way or another, I don't know. When I installed that chipset driver, I had issues with this working with the USB. So that's that. We have our sound, I believe it's SoundMax, or it's actually built into the chipset. What's strange is that on Windows 7, this actually, I believe, shows up as the SoundMax driver. There is a bit of deviation, I find, with the 2 of them, but I'll get to that in a sec. It's funny when you switch operating systems, namely from XP to 7 on a machine this old, because it's strange how things get detected on it. But you see here, we have our whole 1 core rocking around, and then the same thing with the display adapter. With this, it works. I'll show you this here as well. We actually have two kind of chips on here. It's very strange. This is a very interesting chipset that they did with this laptop. It's not your normal kind of thing how we see it now. For instance, if we go into settings here, you'll see I have 2 monitors. If we do our identify, you'll see this is number 1, and then number 2 is our external, which is not showing up. Now, if I click on this, it says not active, but they both show up as the Intel. Let me move a little closer here. They both show up as that driver, that Intel chipset driver. Now, however, if I go into advanced here, you'll see something kind of strange. I go to adapter, it'll show this Intel. Make note of this here when I reboot into Windows 7. You'll see it says Intel 82830M chip internal, right? Memory size is 48 megs, which is really kind of interesting. Now, if I go to the second one, or 0, I should say, go to advanced on that adapter, you'll see the same thing, 82830M internal 48 megs. We have all of our interesting stuff here. It's all working. It all works properly, proper hardware acceleration. Now, the thing is I was fighting, I'm going to reboot here into Windows 7 for you, just to show you how this works. Let's restart here. What I was finding in Windows 7 is that obviously this machine is from 2002, and it's definitely not meant to be running Windows 7, but in my perseverance, I tried my best to get Windows 7 working on this, and you'll see here in 2 seconds, again, a typical DOM video. I'm doing this all in one cut and then just talking. And you'll see what I encountered with this. It was very interesting to say the least. But oops, that's because I was playing with it yesterday and I had to force shut it down because I got stuck trying to load the YouTube video. It was all a thing with the YouTube. And you know what? I was saying about how this is all one cut, but I'm actually going to have to stop my video here and bring this machine upstairs. Case in point being is that I have the Wi-Fi adapter installed with a homemade antenna that actually really doesn't do a good job. Basically, long story short, for this thing to get any sort of Wi-Fi, you need to be on top of the router with it, which is pretty funny, but it does work. The Wi-Fi does work. And of course, the Ethernet works as well. But as I was saying, in Windows 7, it's very strange here. I'm going to let this boot up. I'll show you the Windows 7 here. I'll show you the issues I had with the drivers, and then I'll bring it upstairs right beside the router, and I'll redo the video, and I'm going to go on YouTube. I already did. I kind of pre-recorded videos for this thing. I had to watch the Mr. Beast. We had to get it on the Mr. Beast, which wasn't really doing the best job, but did it work? Again, you have to stay tuned. Ooh, it's part 16 of my thing. Please like and subscribe and smash the like button and donate and watch 16 unskippable ads before you can see the outcome. Just kidding. You just gotta sit here and listen to me blab, or you can skip forward about 5 or 10 minutes if you really want. And something I wanted to mention too is that I'm almost at 600 subscribers, which is quite impressive. I'm happy about that. I'd like to thank every one of you who subscribed to this channel and enjoys my content. This just started with me getting my old white. I still have it, of course. My old white Pro line. It all started with that guy right there. I said, you know what? This thing is cool. I should make a video on this. And now we've evolved into weird IBM Thinkpad videos with trying to watch Mr. Beast, more of a I wouldn't say a meme channel, but definitely. Let me not get the reflection on here. There we go. It's a bit better. The panel is pretty good on this. You'll see we're in Windows 7 now. I'm running a custom theme that I designed myself on this. Of course, we have the resource monitor, my favorite, up in the top right. What's really funny about this is if I open what do you call it there, the task manager on this, you'll see that this resource monitor actually uses quite a bit of CPU power. Sidebar, it's using about 10% of our power depending on what it's doing. But I mean, we also are only working with this Pentium 3 mobile. But starting down here, you'll see here, we got just about 3 hours off the battery. I've probably been blabbing for about 10 minutes now. So of course it is accurate. Here's our Wi-Fi. You should see my Wi-Fi show up. For fun, I'm gonna try to connect to this. It probably won't be able to get it down here. Of course it won't, because it is running a really feeble chip. Sound works in this too, which is funny because when I was earlier working on this, the sound was working and then it wasn't, and I'm like, oh no, there's something broke. But it actually relates to these Think buttons up here. What's really weird is that if you press these, it actually turns off the sound, but it doesn't tell you that the sound is turned off. Let me show you that here, for instance. If we go into our music, and then if I just play one of the infamous Windows 7, the Kalimba here, you'll see what I mean here in a second. These buttons don't actually do what they say that they're going to do. I don't know if it's because the Windows 7 or there's a driver missing for them or something. I'm not really sure if just something is not right, but I bet you it's not even going to play. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if I press this, that's supposed to lower the volume, but it doesn't. That's supposed to raise the volume, but it doesn't. And the mute mutes it, but it doesn't unmute it. And then if I press the volume up, then it turns the volume back on. So that's kind of like volume off, volume on, and then nothing. And the ThinkPad button doesn't actually do anything at all. But yeah, kind of strange. It screwed me up there because I wasn't actually sure what was going on. So let's go into our control panel. Let me know if you guys like this theme. This is the standard activation theme, the IBM. I actually really like that wallpaper that it does. And you might think it looks kind of like a kid scribbling on it with crayon, but I don't know. I think it looks cool. I like that minimalist kind of. That's what these are. That's what the ThinkPad is. It's a minimalist, simple, black, built like a tank. It's everything that I stand for. They're a great machine, and I really like them. I have to say they're cool. And this one is awesome because it's so old, but the battery still works and everything works on this. It's in good shape. Not perfect, but I mean, hey, I mean, I'm 30 years old and I'm not perfect either. So we're in here and now. Trying to get this to focus just a little bit better on my screen for you, so you can see that looks a little bit better there. If I can move it back a little bit, just so you can read this. But all of the steps show up in Windows. This needs to be refreshed because we'll get to that in a second. What I'll do is I'll actually pause the video. This looks kind of goofy. I'll pause the video here and rerun this because I have the graphics driver installed on this now, if you can call it that. And there's our scores. We'll go to Device Manager here, and I'll show you everything that is installed because I was able to get this with, the main thing on this was the video driver. Windows 7 was very good with this and did a great job in getting probably about 90% of everything installed. The only things that were missing were the video driver and the sound driver. And these, which I was mentioning a few minutes ago there, again, if we look at this, this is our CAM LPC thing, the chipset. I did try installing the chipset driver for this. It only goes up to XP, of course. It doesn't have anything newer. I tried installing this in compatibility mode. I tried fiddling with it, but no matter what I did, I couldn't get this to work at all. Both of these. Now there's two of them in here for some reason as opposed to the one on Windows XP. These were just not working. But I mean, the USB and everything works okay, so I'm just going to let that be like the Beatles. Under display adapter, this is where things got interesting. Now, these were both showing up as standard VGA when Windows 7 installed. So to get this working, I don't even know what I did, to be completely honest with you. I got so many different drivers from everywhere. I had the Intel chipset compatibility mode. I was installing Windows 2000 drivers compatibility mode. I don't really know what I did to get this going. You'll see that this is the date here, the 2008, and this is the version, the 1207 version. If I go to details on this, I'm not going to touch this. I want to go to driver details, sorry, this one here, and see all of these files are installed. So I don't know what the hell I did with this. I just kind of was installing everything and smacking it around. It was like I got to restart. It would boot up. It would say, oh, the driver's installed, but now it's going to delete all of the files when Windows reinstalls. I don't really know why that was. I don't know what was happening with this. Eventually, it just got working, where I believe it is working properly, as we can call it now, where we have this as the one driver, because I believe this works on the chipset, and then the chipset, and then it's something I wanted to mention with this is that with very old cards like this, like the Cirrus and the old Rage, sometimes Windows 7 will see those as a standard, again with the air quotes, standard VGA adapter, even though they're not a standard VGA adapter. For instance, if I go to this and go to driver, you'll see it is the Microsoft driver here. But if I go into details, you'll see I have a VGA driver on that, just to plug and play. But something that's very strange with this, it's almost like Microsoft wrote their own kind of driver that just incorporates a bunch of these older, really underpowered chipsets and adapters as a standard VGA. For instance, this one here, you'll see here, so again, same thing as before in the XP. If I go to identify, you'll see our big number 1 there. I did actually plug a second monitor into this for this as the monitor 2, and they both work. Now, what's really strange is that monitor 1 has the generic blah, 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 standard VGA adapter. Now, number 2, it shows up as the Intel 830M graphics adapter. So when I was in here, I was able to adjust these. I am able to adjust the resolution on these as it is installed. Before, I was only able to get 640 or the 800 by 600. Now I get 800 by 600. And what's really interesting is if I go into advanced settings, you'll see here what this chip actually is this Almador graphics chip accelerated VGA BIOS with the 8,000 or 8 megs of video memory, which is really strange because remember a few minutes ago there when we were in Windows XP that it said 48 megabytes. So I don't really know on this. It's honestly got me stumped. I think this is as far as I can get with this actually working on Windows 7. I mean, it does work. You'll see I have the refresh and everything is nice on it. I'm curious to see if this actually is 60 hertz. I want to say it is because it's, again, I'm not able to change it because it doesn't have the functionality, I guess. I don't know. I don't have that nice Intel Extreme graphics panel like under XP, but it seems like nice. This will run Aero. Again, I have it set for this just for some better performance. The Windows Classic with my custom theme. You'll see when I click off the inactive window and stuff, they go red. I think it looks pretty cool. I used to run this as a kid, the different custom themes. I just whipped this one up. But I believe that is working, if we can call it that. It does seem to function. I don't have any artifacting. It looks nice. Even the performance on the internet and stuff is pretty good. I think it's basically all set. But that being said, I think again everything is working under this. If I go down to again, there's our sound, and then see here it shows up as a SoundMax integrated digital audio, which again I'm not too sure. For this I actually just got the. How did I get that? That was the XP driver. All I did for this was I got the XP driver for this machine and installed it under compatibility mode, and it worked. And I have sound. You heard there I was playing a Fluffy Tuner or Ninja Tuner or whatever the hell it was called, and it worked. It works. It's a good machine. It's functional. So apparently in an interesting turn of events, the machine just decided to go into sleep mode. I don't really know why that is. It said the battery reached a critical level. However, the little icon at the bottom is still green. And I should get, I should get about 3 hours on this, and I haven't really been beating on it, so I don't really know why it did that. I'm going to boot in here and see. Oh, look at that. It is apparently only at 5% remaining. I don't know why that is, because like I say, this machine was idling for about 4 hours on the thing. I didn't have it plugged in. I believe the battery does just kind of drain itself a little bit, but it's strange. Like I say, this is a almost 25-year-old battery, so I guess things aren't exactly really normal on it. I will let it discharge. I'm going to bring the machine up here, and I'll bring it upstairs. I'm going to run the CPU-Z, and then we're going to go on the internet with this once I get it plugged back in. Because it's strange. It will, like I say, it was running with, the battery lasted for the 3 hours. But like I say, I didn't have this plugged in overnight, so I don't know if the battery, if it can't really hold much of a charge anymore, unless it's kind of juiced up. I am not 100% sure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to shut this down here, and I'm going to bring it upstairs, and we're going to boot into Windows XP with it plugged into the Ethernet. And then we're going to go on the internet, and I'm going to show you the attempt at watching YouTube with this as well, which was pretty fun. So I will be right back here. Apologize for all the cuts in the video, and we'll see you on Windows XP. All right, so we are back here now. Let's fire the machine back up, and let's do some web browsing with this. I do have it plugged into the adapter now, because apparently 3 hours, when this machine sits overnight, it doesn't actually last for 3 hours. Now, I said I was going to boot into Windows XP. However, sorry to disappoint you, I lied. We're going to be using Windows 7 to go on the internet with this. Now, it does work on Windows XP for the internet. I will put some cuts in here towards the end of the video. Again, not to mention it again with that YouTube. The difference is with this is that this is a 32-bit operating system. Now, we can't use a modern browser on that. They do not support it anymore because, you know, we're going to have to take these old laptops and computers and throw them all in the garbage and buy brand new stuff like the amazing Google Chromebook and all this new technology that is really just junk, and just to get the modern stuff on it. Which is, you know, something else I should mention is I have a 10th gen Pentium that is missing instruction sets, so I can't use a bunch of programs on it that I normally use with something that's an older chip, like an older Xeon where they have them all in it. But anyway, I could babble on all day about that kind of stuff. Here we are going into Windows 7. What I was saying is that with the older operating system, we are kind of limited. We have to use a older version of Chrome, which I'm trying to remember what that is off the top of my head. Not 100% sure, but I will look it up here for you. For Firefox, we can use Firefox 47 or Firefox 48. For the browsing here today, I'm going to use Chrome because I find it works a little bit better. Now, when I was doing the YouTube, I found that the Google Chrome would load, if we can call it that, the YouTube window faster. However, the video wasn't actually doing anything versus Firefox, where I was able to get a little bit out of the YouTube itself. Spoiler alert. So let's give this a second here. I'm going to take a look at my battery because apparently it's only at 5% now. But it does go into standby. It doesn't just die. Like I say, it was sitting and idling. I had it on my desk beside me when I was on the computer, and it did last for a couple hours and have an hour left on it. So the battery does work on this, which is nice. It's better than being completely dead. You can get a bit of time out of it, even if we are doing, you know, CPU-intensive things and going on the internet, whatever. I'll see here. I'm right beside. Actually, you know what's funny is that it's plugged into the router, so I should have both, but I don't know where my I don't know where my Ethernet is because it's plugged in the back here. Let me try that again. He said it was plugged in the back. Let me see. It's definitely plugged in there now. Should be right plugged into my router. Whoa, nice reflection. But apparently we're using Wi-Fi. I don't know. Oh no, you know what? I don't know if the hold on. Let's go back to driver. Or sorry, device manager, because I don't know if this actually has it should. If this has the Ethernet plugged into this, I think it does. But apparently the Ethernet does not want to show up on here now, unless I don't have the driver for it. But I believe that the driver was installed for this, which is really strange. Well, it's definitely there, the Intel Pro 100. And there's, so this wireless card is a Dell Wireless 1370. Sure thing. I thought it was a broad bean card. I don't know what's going on here. This is supposed to be. Why is it not showing up with the Ethernet. I'm actually not even sure, to be completely honest with you, but regardless, I think we're on the internet. If I go to my documents here, I should be able to see what version of Chrome I had installed on this. I believe it is, you know what, I don't even know. Maybe I can go into, let's open Chrome here. I'm sorry. This is being a little goofy. Let me go into Chrome. I'll see what version of Chrome we have. And I'm going to actually try to download that CPU-Z for you as well, because I want to show you that, and then just a little bit more info about this. Yeah, sure, you can set it as default. Knock your socks off. Well, so unfortunately, we're going to stop receiving updates soon from Google. Well, this is very outdated. Regardless, you know what I want to actually do is we're going to window this. Again, I was mentioning before, you can see this is how I had it when I was fiddling with it. You can see here with our usage, we're our out of RAM, and we are using a lot of processing power on this. I mean, it is Chrome. It likes to eat the RAM. Go away. Again, I'm going to try to do this the best that I can. It is, like I say, it doesn't work the best because it is 25 years old at trying to use a modern browser. But it does work. Something else really important I wanted to mention for this, when you're using these old machines, or even a machine in general, if you're having connection errors, make sure your time and date is set correctly. If not, you will still be able to kind of go on the internet, but things don't actually work properly, and you'll get a whole bunch, oh, how does that show up? You'll get a whole bunch of issues, kind of like this, where everything works really slow. But I wanted to see here, I wanted to go into the settings and see about, I wanted to see about this, but I don't know. No, this isn't even telling me about it. I want to see what version of this is installed. Oh, here we go. Version 34.0 1847.131M. Oh God, it's looking for updates. Let's just not do that, because, oh, update failed. An error occurred. Of course an error occurred. Well, whatever. It works on that. So let's, okay, I don't need another tab to save that. Oh my God, enough. Pain in the ass. We're going to need more RAM. So let's go to eBay first. We're going to try to go onto eBay, and then I have YouTube at the end. Let's see if this is actually going to work. Let's see if I'm so limited that I need to go on here and order some more RAM for my laptop. So far, it seems to be working. Again, this is Windows 7. This is a very old machine. I just laughed because I picture some network admin at eBay or whatever going through the query requests and being like, some dude connected to this with like Windows 7 on this ancient version of Chrome with this archaic Pentium 3 laptop. But I mean, I guess it still works. That's the whole point of this video, is to see what these can still do. So on here now, PC 133 laptop RAM. And you know what? I have to say, this didn't load half bad at all. I'm not going to try to log into my eBay and actually buy some of this. But I mean, so far it's working. I guess as I load this, and then it's just all white. I can turn down my brightness a little bit. Maybe it'll make it a little easier to see here. I loaded this, but apparently I'm not. Let's make it full screen. Apparently I'm not actually able to see any of the. Oh, there we go. They're a little cut off, but it is there. It's working. We're running a little hot on our CPU. There we go. I just had to scroll down a quarter of the page before anything showed up. But let's see. I want to order. There we go. Right here. That's actually not bad. $25. You know what? If somebody came by my door right now and said, I have this RAM, give me $25, I would probably give them $25 for it. Oh, pardon our interruption. Hold on. It's gonna checking my browser. Well, I don't know what you're gonna check, but I mean, shoot. Okay. I don't know what you're checking, but I'm actually able to open 2 tabs of this, which is pretty interesting. Here's one. This is only 15. The only thing is that I'm already running a single 256 meg stick, so there's no point in me buying 2 of these. But I don't know. I wonder if I can run a 512 and a 256. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. You know what? I think we might be SOL on this. It's going to, pardon our interruption, they have to check my browser and then redirect me. Probably they think I'm some sort of like weird scammer. We'll keep that open. I'm going to see if I can open 2 tabs on this. Let's go into Google Images here. Oh, hold on. Imagine Cinemas. I don't know what that is, but let's go on that. Let's see if I can open a photo on this. I mean, I should be, because I was able to go on to the eBay and look that up. Oh yeah, this loads all right, I have to say. Nice picture of the cinema, chicken jockey. See if I can open this. You'll see our RAM at the top here is running pretty good. We're rocking 90% RAM, and our CPU is rocking away. I don't know why. Unable to access the network. Oh no, it's so sad. Okay, I'll just look at somebody else's cinema photo then. And apparently this doesn't work either. Something I wanted to mention too, which is really strange, is that I always have a ton of disk. Oh, it's not trusted. Okay, well, I'm sure it's not trusted. I'm sure the picture of the cinema is trying to steal my data that I don't have plugged into this. So you can go bite me. And let's look at this one. Picture of the chairs. Oh, it's not supported. Tap to use. Supported browser. Doesn't seem to be working. Oh, that's Facebook. Stupid Facebook, yeah, wouldn't surprise me. All right, last chance, last attempt at trying to open a photo here. You know what I just remembered is that I can probably right-click and do open a new tab. I miss when the browsers would do that. Apparently we can't go on eBay. Oh, shut the hell up. You know what? Go anyway. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? TikTok. Freaking stupid Chinese. Stupid TikTok. Actually, this would be interesting to see if this is a video, if it's actually going to load. It doesn't look like it. Apparently we can't go on TikTok. Can I go on what about Instagram? Because I need my Instagram model popular chicken jockey. What about if I need my daily vapid fix of social media, and I need to go on Instagram and look at chicken jockey, the latest trends, and Kim Kardashian chicken jockey. Can we do it? Can we go on Instagram? We are about to find out. I mean, it's a meta program, so it doesn't work on a good day on a new system. So on this, I'm gonna have to give it a hard no, but you might be able to impress me. I guess we can get the icon. Can I like do anything with this? Let's open that in a new tab for later review. Oops. My cursor just rocketed to the moon there. Sorry, I'm gonna blue screen while opening the Instagram icon. I don't know if we can go on Instagram with this. Let's try one more. Can I open up this 160 by 160? Ah, yes, there we go. I can look at the Instagram icon, but I don't think I can actually load Instagram on this. What other stupid social media things is everybody using nowadays? There's Instagram, Snapchat. I don't think you can. I don't use any of this stuff. Facebook, which if Facebook doesn't work, we were on that there 2 seconds ago. What else is there? TikTok wasn't working. I think we're kind of SOL. Oh, what about Twitter? Or it's called X. What was formerly known as Twitter. Now it's called X. Elon Musk. Space rocket. All right. No, what? X? Isn't X Twitter? X.com SpaceX. Starship. Is this even real life at this point? Let's see. I don't know if this is X or Twitter or Y or YZ and the ESD posse. I don't know if this is any of this stuff. Let's see if this can load. We got some disk access at the bottom down there. Let's see. Oh no, it's not trusted. Who is this Twitter? It goes on this Twitter. Oh, please switch to supported browser. You know what? You guys can all jump in the freaking lake. Can I download CPU-Z before I go on YouTube and I make YouTube work, and then we'll do that. Let's see if I can download software with this. Oh no, well that's loading. I'll show you my other ThinkPads. That's my Minecraft server. There is my A22, and then there's my W530. Just in case, oh my god! Just in case you thought I wasn't legit with my love of ThinkPads. I don't know why I keep getting all these trusted thing errors. Like, just shut the hell up. Like, what is CPU-Z? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Come to my house and shoot me? Like, just give me your software. I'm gonna see if I can download this. So far it's functioning. What's really funny is that when I was using the web browser, this works in XP as well. When I was using this web browser, it actually randomly blue screened on me. Another error, what I'll mention here now while this is attempting to download, is that I think the reason that the YouTube acts up, which I'll show you here, I'm going to try to get this running and run this, and then I'm going to do some cuts where I have the YouTube going. The issue I was having, I think, is that this machine just has a hard limit with the RAM, and then that's why things get stuck. It just doesn't have enough memory to do and to store what it's trying to do in it. Like you'll see there now, like where the memory's capped, it's probably, I did set the page file on this to use a gig. However, it doesn't really use, I don't know if it's a limit. It's got to be a limit with the RAM because, like I say, with the YouTube video, I had it crashing, and I believe that is the issue. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to download this here now. Let's see, maybe I can right-click and do the classic right-click and save as, or save target, whatever the hell they call it. Maybe not. Oh, CPU fan just decided to speed up there. I'm glad I plugged this in. Here's me, wishful thinking. I thought I was going to be able to do this video all on battery, but we tried. It is charging though. I did click open a new tab, so we'll see if this opens here. It's definitely getting a little slow for me. This brings me back to when I was a kid and we used to run Pentium 4s and Internet Explorer, and woo, I'm gonna go on the internet, I'm gonna go on Newgrounds. I can only get bad things on the internet as a kid. What a great time that was, all those horrible videos, all those gore porn videos and stuff. It was a lot different. The internet was a lot different 15 years ago, I'll tell you that, for younger viewers. I mean, I don't know actually my viewer base, if more of you guys are younger or older or what, but for those of you that are younger, internet, being a kid, oh my god, being a kid, that's what you said most of the time, being on the internet as a young guy. It was either jump scare stuff or a lot of scary stuff, but the internet was a lot better place, even with all that terrible crap all the time. Oh, you are so stupid. It's what? Oh, it's working. It's downloading at the bottom. Did it actually work? Even though it said not available and all those errors, I think I actually did it. Does this actually make its own downloads folder? I'm really curious. I'm really curious if this actually worked. I don't want to close the web browser in case I lose all of my progress to download that file, but I think that might have actually ran. Oh, it did? Did it? When I open CPU Z or Z or whatever the hell you want to call it, then we can celebrate. But I want to say that actually worked. Okay, Windows. Oh, I'm like, why did Windows Explorer open? That's because I opened it. I'm gonna see if this actually went into the downloads folder. And there it is. Oh, what? There's two versions, but I can't actually... Oh, you know why? Probably because it's a newer version and it won't work on this. It wouldn't surprise me. Maybe if I close this and free up some RAM, let's see. Or maybe this just... You know what? I want to say that I ran this in Windows XP and it wasn't working on Windows 7 on this. I don't know. I did have it working though, but apparently this... After all that, we get a runtime error. After all that work together... That's what we get, an app crash. Yeah, your program sucks ass, and you're useless. But I'm going to stop the video here. Thank you so much. The shame of this is that this machine works really well, and everything works just as if it was new, more or less. But the problem is that all this stuff just gets updated and forced obsolescence, that I can't use my Pentium 3 laptop on the internet on Windows 7 anymore. Unfortunately, but that's the way of the world, I guess. So what I'm going to do here... I'm going to stop the video. I'm actually going to do a weird cut where I come right back to this video that I'm recording currently, and then we'll come back here. So I'm going to cut over to the video. We're going to load YouTube on this. I'm going to show you the adventures that I had with YouTube, and then I'm going to leave a really long pause in this video, and then we will come back to the video, and I will say my goodbyes. All right, so after playing around with this for 2 hours and fiddling with it, it's now 1 in the morning, and I've been poking at it and hoping for it to load a YouTube video, so I reverted back to Windows XP, set it to 144, running the Firefox 48 on this, and now we have the Mr. Beast 1 versus $1 million car video ready to play on the Pentium 3 ThinkPad. Here we go.
Hands on over $250 million worth of cars, one of them even costing $100 million. And we're going to be exploding, sailing, driving, and even flying all of these cars to show you why.
And there we go. That's all we get. That's it. You get 18 seconds YouTube video. I'm not really sure what went wrong. Can we just play this or no? I bet you if I refresh it, it will just crash. I actually had this blue screen for some reason. I don't really know what the error is. I'm probably out of RAM. I'm gonna try F5 or F6, whatever it is, to refresh this and see. It does play the ads, of course, no problem. In typical YouTube fashion, it will load the ads really quick. I just think that this is honestly running out of RAM because I'm only running 256 meg on this, but I was able to play 18 seconds of the Mr. Beast video, and then it takes about 5 minutes to buffer that. But we do end up getting the YouTube ads as well. But yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I can get it to play a little bit, but I just think we've got a bit of a hardware limit on this that prevents any more of it from actually buffering and loading. Something that I did notice interestingly enough with these is that our loading icon for our disk goes non-stop, which I'm not really sure why that is. I mean, you think it would be just kind of from, you know, it would stream off of the YouTube server and play, and the CPU would, you know, the CPU would be working, but why it's loading, and if you listen, you'll hear that it uses the hard disk non-stop. So I don't really know 100% how it works as far as YouTube videos and the streaming, if there is something that requires the hard disk to be running non-stop. But apparently with this there is, and apparently that's all we get is 18 seconds of this playing, and now it's completely frozen again. So that's that. Not really recommended for using on YouTube. I mean, it did, yes, of course, it did work. So I can say we did watch YouTube on this. However, it's pretty much one notch on the ladder up from being unwatchable. But we did watch 18 seconds of it, so it did work. It did work. You can't say it didn't work. All right, so we are back. I just literally stopped talking for 10 seconds, and then I'm going to add those cuts in there after. Ka-chow, excellent YouTuber. High-end studio. It's just my camera on a tripod. But that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a really cool system. I will shut it off here for you now and put it on the shelf with my other ThinkPads. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't usually do laptops too much. There's not really a whole lot to these. They just kind of do their thing. But I mean, when you get something really old like this, I think it's pretty cool to have running and just see what it can do. Now, unfortunately, what it can do is actually not really, I like the beep when you unplug it there. What this can do is actually not a whole lot of stuff. However, it does work really well, and I quite like this machine. It's going to have a very special home here. I'll put it on the shelf beside my other ThinkPads that I showed you, and that's going to be it. Like I say, any questions or anything, you guys feel free to comment on there. Again, I can delete comments, so people who are smartasses or want to talk smack, you can get deleted comment. Thank you very much. I didn't know I could do that, but thank you, YouTube. We're almost at 600 subscribers. I am more than happy about that. I would love to keep it growing. Again, whenever I get something cool, like a cool machine like this, I always love making videos. I love to hear people's stories about these. If, you know, even the old servers, if they've used them, if they've had them in production. Whoa, as I knock over all my cassettes there. If they've played with these or experiences, it's pretty cool. I find that YouTube is, I don't use any social media, but I find YouTube is kind of the new, not new, but YouTube for me is kind of a social media thing where it's nice. You can meet decent people most of the time and talk about these old machines and really just kind of, really just, you know, get to, not even get to meet people, but get to chat and, whoa, nice job as I wreck everything here. And just kind of share stories and learn how to fix stuff, learn about these old machines. I'm doing a crap job of opening this. And just kind of see what everything is about. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in, guys. I'll boot up this one. You can see them all again here. My 3 ThinkPad fiasco. And that's going to be it. Again, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I'll be back soon with some more cool stuff for you guys. And have a good one. Bye for now.